So we are asking the members of the public community to be calm, not to paint this mere campaign they have been painting to the DIG that he is a person who should be charged in the court of law. No, investigations are going on, and we should focus to where this murder happened. We should not focus on the complainant. If we focus on the complaint with the DIG, we lose, we don't understand, we don't get the justice the family is yearning for, because the justice must be served. And when that time will come, we'll realize it is not for Lagat, it is for others who participated in this. So yes, we know, and we knew very well, this is an officer who understands all protocols and all procedurals in constitutional procedures. So he will step aside to let the investigations go on. And the moment IPOA will clear him, he will come back to the office and he will serve the people of Kenya.
Hiyo inakuaje wanangu wa nguvu? Kama kawaida mimi najulikana kama Kaka J, na hivi leo niko na kati ya miamba ambao wameweza kuitikisa mitandao kwa siku 2 zilizopita. Ningependa tu kuweza kuzungumza naye ili tuweze kujua inakuaje. Kwa wale ambao mnamuona kwa mara ya kwanza, ni miongoni mwa CEOs hapa ndani ya Wazalendo Movement Africa. Si mwingine bali ni Eugene Oponyo. Inakuaje?
Salama sana.
Bwana unakaa umenyekea sana.
Inabidi. Hii maisha inataka unyenyekevu.
Au sio?
Naam.
Bwana, tumeona leo kwenye mitandao ya kijamii kwamba Eliud Lagat, ambao wengi wanahisi kwamba wanamtetea, ameweza kustep aside kuhusiana na kile kisa cha Albert Ojwang ambaye aliweza kupoteza maisha yake kwa kukizia kwamba aliweza kuuliwa kwenye seli. Labda sijui maoni yako ni yapi?
Asante sana kwa hilo. Eliud Lagat, this is a seasoned police officer. This is someone who has been in the service for far too long. This is someone who understands protocol. This is someone who understands cases. And this is someone who has handled a couple cases and he understands investigation processes. So this is someone who obeys the law. He understands him as the Deputy Inspector General. He was the complainant in this matter. So him being in the office at the same time, while the investigation is still going on, people might look at it from a public perspective that he might tamper with the case. That's why, as a law-abiding citizen, the DIG, that is Eliud Lagat, he has decided to step aside. And stepping aside doesn't mean resigning. Stepping aside inamaanisha anangoja upelelezi uishe, ukishakamilika, because we all believe in our institutions, which he also believes in. So after the investigations is over, and now a report will be tabled, and that's where we will know if DIG was involved or was not involved. But all we know is he was only a person of interest because he's a complainant in this case, not because he was involved in this, in what happened, in what transpired to Albert Ojwang. So we are asking the members of the public community to be calm, not to paint this mere campaign they have been painting to the DIG that he is a person who should be charged in the court of law. No, investigations are going on, and we should focus to where this murder happened. We should not focus on the complainant. If we focus on the complaint with the DIG, we lose, we don't understand, we don't get the justice the family is yearning for, because the justice must be served. And when that time will come, we'll realize it is not for Lagat, it is for others who participated in this. So yes, we know, and we knew very well, this is an officer who understands all protocols and all procedurals in constitutional procedures. So he will step aside to let the investigations go on. And the moment IPOA will clear him, he will come back to the office and he will serve the people of Kenya. In fact, in 2 months' time is the one who is coming to be the Inspector General. If the Deputy Inspector General was involved in this case, how damn can he be? He will be the Inspector General in 2 months' time. He goes ahead to involve himself in such a petty case. Why should he go to that trajectory? Yet he knows what is at stake. So that's why we are saying the DIG is only a person of interest because he's a complainant, not a person of interest because he was involved in the murder of Albert Ojwang. So I'm calling for calm from all Kenyans to let the investigations go on. After that, we'll know exactly what transpired. Tunaweza kuwa tunakashifu bure the DIG. Juzi tuliona CCTV za Mbagazi zilitokea. Na zikionyesha vizuri, there was someone of inspector rank who was escorting the body of Albert kuingia katika Mbagathi Hospital. Ni nani huyo ambaye alikuwa kwa duty hiyo siku? Huyo ofisa ambaye ameshikwa anaitwa OCS Talam. OCS Talam is an OCS, the commanding officer of the commanding station at Central Police Station. He is not he was not on duty that day, but he is the OCS. So we should be the ones calling out who was on duty on that day, who has executed this, who allowed other people, other inmates to join Albert in the cell. We should not be the ones to judge already. Talam is guilty, Lagat is guilty. No, we should speak about Samson Ng'ang'a. Samson Ng'ang'a was is the deputy OCS at Central Police Station. He was only interdicted. He has not been arrested. Why hasn't he been arrested? Why all these other officers who are on duty at the Central Police Station, they haven't been arrested? Why is it Talam only? That's why we have to be so categorical and honest as Kenyans if we are seeking for justice for this family. If we are truly seeking for justice, we should know who deleted all the CCTV footages at the Central Police Station. Is it Lagat? Lagat does not work at Central Police Station. Who delivered the corpse, or rather who delivered the body of Albert to Mbagathi? The deputy inspector, the deputy OCS was part of the people who delivered that body. So why is it so hard now to point fingers at the people who did this murder? Why is it that we want to point fingers to we want to come up with the narrative to see, or now we can get other people from office? That is not the way to get justice, because we cannot get justice if we are trying to obstruct it and making sure other people who are involved in this case are not getting the same justice. You are asking them to resign. Sasa mimi nakuuliza, ingekuwa ni mtu kama mimi, nimekuwa I was the complainant kwa hii murder case ya Albert, Wakenya ungekuwa naambia nani resign? Kwa sababu ingekuwa maybe mimi am a jobless person kama watu wengine, ingekuwa ni nani anakuwa anaambiwa resign? Manake huyu jamaa aliuliza yeye mwenyewe kuwa mimi na complain kwa sababu ya hili na hili na hili. So ni si yeye wa kuulizwa what happened to the victim. We have to ask the officers who were involved at the Central Police Station to know exactly what transpired, instead of just jumping into conclusion and saying this one is guilty, that one is guilty. No, we have courts, and that's why we are insisting that the Deputy Inspector General Eliud Lagat, the moment investigations are over, we would like him to get back to office and do the good work he has been doing for the country, for the people of Kenya, because we believe in his leadership, and we have seen what he has been doing. We have seen the impromptu visits he has been doing. So we have to be so categorical and say, look, yes, we know each and every person might get lazima kuna siku mbaya katika ofisi. So hii ni siku mbaya tu, na tunasema ni pole sana kwa familia ya Ojwang, na tunaendelea kuitisha nini ambacho kilitokea, na tutaendelea kuuliza maswali magumu ya kuwa nani ambaye aliua Albert Ojwang. Naam.
Kwenye mitandao ya kijamii baada ya Eliud Lagat kuweza kustep aside, many people, citizens of Kenya, wamesema kwamba he should not step aside, but he should resign, because they say, according to them, that he is guilty. He is involved in the killing and the murder case of Albert Ojwang. What do you say about it?
You know, presumption of innocence can only, or rather guilt can only be done in the courts of law. And this, as a police officer who has been in the force for quite some time, he understands investigations must be thorough. And once the investigations are done, now he can be able to resign. This is not a matter for him to resign, because he is a complainant in the matter. He has only stepped aside because him being a complainant in the office he holds, it contradicts the case. That's why he has to step aside, so that the public does not feel like he should be the person he is a serious person of interest in this case. However, he should not be the ones to resign, because if he resigns, it already gives assumption of guilt. Why should he say he's already guilty when already the investigations are going on? The investigations have not said, yes, he did it. So for a resigning means he has presumpted to be guilty. Yet the courts, or rather the institution in this country, they are poor, have not pronounced him guilty. Why do Kenyans want him to resign? Is it because he's just a person of interest because he complained about this, or is it because he's the Deputy Inspector General? Or is it because people from different quarters, they don't want him to be the next Inspector General? So we have to be sure what is really at stake. Let's not just say we want DIG Lagat out of office for him to resign. No, he has shown that humility. He has shown that what the country entails him to do, to step aside, let the investigations go on. And I'm sure, we are pretty sure when the investigations are all done, the DIG will be back in office to serve the people of Kenya. So those who believe in his leadership skills should not even worry. He will be back very soon. Yes.
Labda kuna wale ambao wanajiuliza it has taken a long time for him to step aside, ndio aweze kuruhusu zile investigations ziweze kufanyika. Je, unahisi kwamba ni kwa nini amekaa for so long kuweza kustep aside hadi kupelekea vijana kujitokeza kwenye barabara na kufanya maandamano?
Unajua kesi ingeanza tu leo alafu yeye kesho asha step aside. Hiyo already inamaanisha kuwa kuna kitu maybe yeye aambi watu ukweli. Lazima kungekuwa na threshold ambayo imefika ya upelelezi ambayo inaweza mfanya aseme let me step aside, msiseme mimi ndo na obstruct investigations. So angekuwa tu wa haraka kusema sawa, wamenitaja katika hii kesi, ni mimi kusema mambo ya kesi wacha mambo ya kazi wacha ikae kando, kwa sababu kuna Wakenya wengine pia usalama wao unaangaliwa na huyu DIG. So lazima pia akue keen nayo, sio tu kuamka asubuhi na anasema hapana, hii kazi ambao wamenipatia mimi sitaki, wacha niache kwa sababu nimeshtumiwa katika hii mambo. Hapana, yeye kama mtu ambaye amekuwa katika idara ya askari anaelewa kuwa kuna mfumo ambao unafuata wa upelelezi, na ukishafika kiwango fulani kama uko katika ofisi unahitajika you step aside, upelelezi ushaisha, unarudi ofisini, unaendelea na kazi kufanyia wananchi wa Kenya. Naam.
Noma sana. Leo tumemwona CS Murkomen mwenyewe ameweza kuissue a press ambayo ameweza kutaja kwamba police station zote ziweze kuwa na CCTV, na zaidi ya yote akasema kwamba kuna hitaji kufanyika training ya mapolisi. Je, what is your take about it?
I really welcome and we really thank Mheshimiwa Murkomen. He really fits the bill to be at the Interior Ministry. He is doing an immense work. However, majority of the people, they don't seem to see. But the Ministry of Interior, since the appointment of Honorable Kipchumba Onesmus Murkomen, it has been on a rise. We have seen different changes. We've seen him trying to advocate for jukwaa la usalama, and this is something that has been so fundamental in trying to advocate, to push the advocacy to the people down there to understand. The other day he was in Lamu, so he has been moving around the country trying to do this jukwaa la usalama. Manake he wants to understand what does, because each county they have different security issues. People who live on the border have different security issues. Those who live in different parts of this country have different security issues. So as Cabinet Secretary of Interior, Honorable Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen has been of immense support and of immense help to the ministry, because he's the one with the vision for this ministry. So for him to come out and offer his press on the issues happening in the country, we welcome that as young people, and we really thank him for saying the police officers need some training and education, because it has come to a point whereby young people, or rather Kenyans, no longer want anything to do with the police. We have to know, if anything strikes this country today, we'll need our brothers in uniform to go out there to fight for us. So that's why people like Onesmus Kipchumba Murkomen, they're trying to bring up such initiatives, trainings to the police officers, trainings to the citizens, so that tusikue tunaona police officer like people wenye ambao tuko na chuki na wao. Hawa ni mandugu zetu, hawa ni mababa zetu, wengine wametusomesha, wengine wametuzaa, wengine ni madada zetu. So tusikue na chuki chuki na askari, na hicho ndicho lengo ambalo la Mheshimiwa Murkomen, tukiangalia katika statement ametoa, anajaribu kuifanya. Manake ukiangalia hata CCTV katika police station, ingekuwa tumeweka CCTVs police stations mingi, kuna mambo mingi inaendelea. Ni vizuri sana kurudi hapo kuweza kujua nini ambayo ilifanyika hii siku, na ndio tusikuwe na ugumu wa kuweza kufanya upelelezi. Ukiangalia katika hii kesi ya Albert, kuna CCTV lakini zilikuwa deleted. So with this new statement given by the Interior CS, there will be now guidelines on how even CCTV operations will be at the police station, so that hakuna mtu ambaye atalaumiwa kwa kosa ambayo hakufanya. So tunashukuru sana Mheshimiwa Murkomen for taking this as a major issue that need to be solved and need to be addressed, because it is an issue of national importance, and it is an issue that we all have to focus on and say, look, as a ministry, as the young people of Kenya, as the citizens of Kenya, security is a very prudent role. We must be there, and we must not try to jeopardize the security of the country by saying, no, whatever the statement the Cabinet Secretary has issued is null and void. No, this is the Cabinet Secretary for Interior, and whatever he says, we as the people of Kenya, we need to welcome it and say that is the trajectory we are going to take, because it reflects the aspirations of the Kenyan people. It really reflects the vision he has for the ministry. So we urge all the young people, instead kuona tu waziri ametoa tu statement for the sake of ya kutoa, tuiangalie from a point of nini procedures zimepeanwa hapo kuweza kuleta reforms katika mambo ya askari ili tuweze kusonga mbele. Hata ukiangalia katika hiyo statement wanasema watajaribu kufinya bajeti, kwa sababu these are impromptu matters. Watajaribu kufinya bajeti ili wako na vision ya ministry iendelee kufanyika, na bado vitu initiatives kama hizi bado ziendelee kufanyika. So Mheshimiwa Murkomen, that is kongole sana kwa hilo, kwa sababu we need serious reforms in the police force, and we need someone who can come out boldly and try to put everything in plain and white. Yes.
It's awesome. So we have seen opposition leader, Mheshimiwa Rigathi Gachagua, pia na ameweza kusema kwamba he is on Eliud LAGAT'S neck. Now anasema kwamba Lagat amefanya makosa na anahitaji kwamba aweze kuchukuliwa hatua. Sijui, according to you, what do you have to say about it?
In fact, someone who should be arrested is Gachagua. Gachagua has been running his mouth from morning to evening. Gachagua wants to tell us, oh, Ruto amefanya hii, oh, Ruto amefanya hii. Ukiuliza Gachagua, mpango wako wa mambo ya kilimo ni gani? Hana. Ukiuliza Gachagua, mpango wako wa mambo ya kiafya ambao unataka kufanyia wa Kenya ni gani? Hana. Ukiuliza Gachagua, mpango wako katika mambo ya kuendeleza na kuleta ajira ya vijana, atakwambia one term, Ruto must go. Ukiuliza Gachagua, tunataka tulete hali za anga zinabadilika katika ulimwengu mzima, uko na mpango gani katika climate action? Atakwambia Ruto must go. So sisi kama vijana, sisi kama Wakenya ambao tunajielewa, tunasema Gachagua should be the first one to be arrested, not even the DIG Lagat. Gachagua the other day he did an interview. He said 2027 will be like a Christmas party. Do you know what it means, 2027 being 2007 being a Christmas party? 2007 more than 1,000 people died. What do you mean this one will be a Christmas party? So how many people do you intend to kill? How many violence are you trying to organize? How many people do you want to get out there? How much blood do you want? Why are you fascinated about people killing each other? Why are you fascinating about inciting Kenyans? Why are you fascinating about making sure Kenyans are not speaking in the same voice? Why are you fascinating so happy and making sure Kenyans, they are no longer speaking in one unison voice? Why, Mr. Gachagua? That's why we are asking for the arrest of Gachagua. Gachagua should be arrested for incitement. There is no way you'll say 2007 when people lost their properties, people lost their lives, people lost their families. Now you're saying that will look like a Christmas party. Who are these people you want to go to war to? Why do you want Kenyans to fight? Why do you want to shed all this blood? To do what for it? That's why before Gachagua calls for the arrest of bwana DIG Lagat, he should be the first one to be arrested for his remarks and the hate he's been spewing around. Sijui mbona hizi institutions tuko nazo kwa kuangalia watu wa incitement, mbona zijashika Gachagua? Akitaka kushikwa wanaanza kusema watu wa Mount Kenya wanalaumiwa ama wanajaribu kutumika na serikali kuantaka sijui kumuua, sijui kumfanya nini. Kidogo anataka kuanza kutuambia mambo ya bibi yake. Gachagua, hii ni siasa. Hakuna mtu anataka kujua mambo ya bibi yako iko aje. Sisi tunataka kujua wewe uko na mpango gani kwa Wakenya. Usituambie sijui unataka lazima utembee na bibi yako. Hiyo ni mambo yako. Sisi hatuna haja na Pastor Dorcas Rigathi Gachagua. Yeye asimami kitu. Yeye haombi chochote. Tuko na shida na Gachagua. Huyo ndo mtu ambaye tunasema aweze kubadilisha mienendo zake, asikue tu mtu wa kutupia watu cheche za maneno. Sisi kama vijana tumechoka kuambiwa kila siku Ruto must go. Sisi kama vijana tumechoka kila siku kuambiwa one term. One term haileti chakula. One term haileti kazi. Ni sisi kama vijana tujue huyu Gachagua is playing with our emotions. Huyu si mtu ambaye anahitaji kuwa na kiti. Mtu ambaye kwa akili yake yote anafikiria Kenya ni Mount Kenya. No, that is not someone we need to get into serious political office. We need someone who believes each and every person in this country has a right. Each and every person in this country has a reason to move forward as a nation. Not that there are specific people who are superior than others. No, this country belongs to all of us. This country does not belong to Mount Kenya alone. This country does not belong to Western Kenya alone. This country does not belong to Pwani Kenya alone. This country belongs to the 56 million Kenyans. And that's why we are asking Kenyans of goodwill to try to embrace the Gachagua bandwagon. This is someone who wants to spill blood. This is someone who is talking about the cousins politics. When all of us Kenyans, we are cousins. So you should not try to segregate people. You should not try to put people into cousins, brothers and sisters. We are all cousins and brothers and sisters. So we are not going to follow the Gachagua type of politics. We are going to follow the politics that brings about development. We are going to follow the politics that breeds or rather talks about unity. Not the politics of incitement, not the politics of division, but the politics of inclusivity in the country so that the country can move forward. And we as the people, we as Kenyans, we can bring and solve the problems we all go through as a nation. Not using old men and women, because he was the permanent secretary, the personal assistant to Uhuru Kenyatta. Uhuru Kenyatta was taken to ICC. So what does he know? That's why he's saying 2007 look like a Christmas party. So we need to know what does Gachagua intends and plans to do in 2027. Does he intend to kill young people, or how many people does he want to kill for him to know that this is more than a Christmas party? So we must move forward as a nation and not listen to individuals like Gachagua. Yeah.
Bwana, shukrani. Tukimalizia kabisa, pia nimeweza kuona Maraga pia naye ameweza kutoa press ya kwake akitaja kwamba wale viongozi wa polisi wote ambao waliweza kuissue false statement kwamba Albert Ojwang alijipiga kwenye ukuta hadi kufariki wanafaa kushikwa na kutiwa ndani, akiwemo Eliud Lagat pia na IG mwenyewe Kanje. Labda unasema nini?
Unajua watu kama the former Chief Justice Maraga, those are busybodies. Those are people who have been tried to be pushed by the people that now they can be the president of this country. Not Gachagua, but Maraga cannot be the president of this country. Maraga will never be president. He is not going to win anything. He should stop wasting his time and sit home with his grandkids. Hii ni masaa ya kuwa naangalia wajukuu wanaendelea aje. Si masaa ya kwanza kusema sana kwanza kupigania nchi. Maraga amekuwa kwa system. Maraga amekuwa akifanyia serikali zote kuanzia serikali ya Moi kazi until kastika hii serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta. So siye mtu wa kuja kwanza kutuambia kutupatia lecture on how intends kubadilisha nchi. Huyu ni mtu ambaye kwa nyumbani aache kusumbua wa Kenya na kelele mingi za kusema anatoa hii press statement, anatoa ile press statement. Sasa tunahitaji vijana wajitokeze. Tunahitaji vijana waseme wanataka uongozi. Hatuhitaji tena wazee kama Maraga wakuja wanakaa wanaongea on behalf of the young people. Sisi kama vijana tutaongea kwa niaba yetu wakati wetu ukifika. Lakini tutakaa chini. Mtu ambaye amekuwa jaji mkuu katika inji na wakati wake corruption ilipanda sana. Sasa anasemaje yeye ndio ambaye anakuja kusolve hizi shida ambazo tuko nazo? Hii mambo amesema ya ufisadi, ufisadi katika makoti imejaa. Mbona kumaliza ufisadi katika makoti, sasa anataka kumaliza ufisadi katika Kenya mzima? Hiyo ni hypocrisy, na hii hypocrisy si mzuri. Manake watu kama yeye, they think because they have gone to school, they think because they have been chief justices, now they are entitled to be presidents. No, that is not how it works. Politics is so different with the law. Politics is not the same as judicial matters. So you should tread carefully and not just follow blind optimism being propagated by the Gen Zs or other people who hate President Ruto online and trying to tell him, oh, you can be president. Wanakudanganya bwana Maraga. Hawa vijana ambao wanakuambia kwa mtandao atakupigia kura, hata ukikupigia kura itatosha. Wewe hujaisimama hata kiti MCA ukashinda ama ukaanguka. So ni vipi sasa utaanza kutuambia unataka kuwa president, na hata hapo nyumbani? Kwanza kutuambie huko nyumbani kwenu umefanya nini? Tuambie hii Kenya umefanya nini? Besides just you nullifying an election for Uhuru Kenyatta, what else have you done? What are these reforms you bring in the judicial sector? So before you say you want to be president, we need to know what's your plan. Not kutuambia to Ruto must go. That's so easy. Anyone can do that. We need to know what's your plan. What do you intend to do for the people of Kenya? Not just trying to talk for the sake of talking and issuing press statements because you feel agitated and you're trying to take advantage of the wave and you're trying to take advantage of the death of Ojwang'. And this is maybe, as I wind up, let me say this about commercial activists. Commercial activists have been taking advantage of the death of Albert Ojwang'. These are people who swindle money from white people. They get money from organizations. Then they mobilize young people to get to the streets. They manufacture rage online. The moment they manufacture this rage, they now use it to swindle money. They now use it to manipulate people to give them money. Yet young people are losing their lives. You cannot take advantage of the death of Albert Ojwang'. Let that young man rest. He went through a lot. That was so untimely. So we are not going to let commercial activists organize protest and use this protest to milk money for the sake of trying to fight for the country. No, they are not fighting for the country. They are fighting for their stomachs. And activists are the reason why Kenya is not moving forward. And with activists, I mean the legs of Anifa, the legs of Boniface Mwangi, all these other people, the legs of Gaido. We don't need people who only try to manipulate people emotionally. We want people who have a plan for Kenya, not people who just want to talk about what Ruto has not done. What have they done in their own individual spaces? Not just speaking what Ruto has not done. What have these commercial activists done besides trying to ask for money from Kenyans, besides trying to get money from the white people? If they are not being funded, let them come out and say they are not being funded. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time.
Asante.